And welcome to another episode of Geek-Men and the Masters of the Thunder Nerds. I'm Dustin.
I am Boo.
And I'm Kurt.
Yes, indeed.
What is a catchy tune?
Yes, it is.
Jam. God bless you, sir.
Dance to it every time.
It gets stuck. We should sell that as a ringtone, man.
Yeah, offer it up.
So we watched Corvette Summer.
Indeed, we did.
I swear I didn't even know this movie existed until last week.
But you
said you understood a joke now that you've seen this movie?
Yes, we can go ahead and play that clip. There's a small there's a DC animated short where Mark Hamill, the joke is that Mark Hamill gets kidnapped by characters that he does the voices of.
Yeah.
Which is the Joker and the Trickster.
Yeah.
And he's sitting in the back with the Trickster, and the Trickster says this.
I loved in that 70s classic about a young lad who fights impossible odds to fulfill his destiny. What was that called? Oh, yeah, Corvette Summer.
And now I get that joke.
Yeah.
There you go.
What's weird is this is like a cult classic, but I looked it up. This movie it's an MGM release. Had a budget of like 1.7 million or something, made like 38. It's a very big hit.
Yeah.
And I never heard of it till last week.
And it's the Annie Potts' debut film.
And she won an Emmy for this.
Really?
She won an Emmy that year for this movie.
Huh.
And I feel like this movie was just not AI of the future, I guess. You just feed it a couple of prompts and it spit out this movie.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I saw this movie by accident. You know, I never heard of it, and we were on a family vacation, and we were looking for something to watch, and that's what was available on the premium channel at the hotel. So we watched it, and yeah, I think it had just been out in theaters prior the year before. And then we watched it and just always thought it was a cute movie. You know, nothing crazy about it, nothing insane. Just good movie. A lot of good cars, cool cars.
Yeah.
But again, a lot of things that really show you how not the 70s and 80s and 90s, I always say, were kind of lawless, but I don't mean it that way. It's just there were just things that were part of everyday life, and when you see them in movies, you're like, "What? What's going on?" You know?
Yeah, I feel like when people say "boys will be boys," this is the type of shit they're talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and okay. Also, this is sort of a side tangent, but when anyone ever picks up a phone in anything, it's just like, "Oh wow, that was the thing." It's like you totally forget about it and you're not thinking about it. And then all of a sudden someone picks up a landline and you're just like, oh, wait, that's totally right. We used to do that.
Hold on, let me call somebody. The rotary stuff, man. But yeah, it's a cute little movie. It's tonally, it's all over the place. It's like several different movies just squished together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, and they don't, and obviously the two main points are the guy wants to get his Corvette back, but then you have Annie Potts, who's this girl just trying to find her way, a very strange way to try to find her way in the world. Aspirations of being a hooker, then maybe an escort, but she was a very interesting character that just kept appearing.
Yeah.
Plus, it continues we have this weird running gag on our show now where about Janine's breast. And now, like, I wasn't expecting to see Janine's breast in this movie. I mean, they don't like show it full on, but I was just like, I felt weird looking at her.
Well, yeah, because anytime we've seen Annie Potts, she always plays the sweetest down-home character.
Yeah.
So then you see her in this where she's just kind of like I don't think she was on any ADHD medications in this movie, but she should have been. But
I feel like she was really trying. She was trying her best to be funny.
Yeah, definitely.
Which she probably does deserve that Emmy. And she's super cute. Like, if I had saw this movie as a kid, I totally would have had a crush on her.
Yeah.
Like, no doubt. But yeah, I don't see how... that's probably the most highly preposterous thing about this movie, is that she started a business being a prostitute with a traveling bed in a van, and her name is Vanessa. I was like, that's great marketing. How are you not making money?
It is.
Well, it shows her first night out on the job, she gets worked over pretty good, beat up.
Yeah, I did, man. That's what's so weird about the movie too, is that it has these like really dark moments like that.
Yeah. And
they don't like gently, get you into the warm bathwater. They just chuck you in, and it's like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know. I don't think anyone would have a problem with Vanessa type situation if it fell into their lap. So I don't know.
Well, he obviously did. I mean, did you ever see I mean, I understand, the whole storyline of the virgin. He's so occupied with everything else that he doesn't know how to act around a woman. I mean, he acted downright retarded. And obviously, I don't know if we can say that word, but it's like
canceled.
Come on,
canceled.
Yeah, come on. Dude.
You said it. I didn't. That's the thing. He doesn't play it like a virgin. He plays it like
he's terrified of women.
Oh shit!
Yeah, like he's an alien that doesn't have genitalia, and he's afraid that people are going to find out he's an alien or something. I'm like, he's deathly afraid of being naked around anybody or anything, and like he's never even seen a woman in his life. When you got to get in the movie and everybody's flirting with girls and stuff. It's like a complete character change out of the. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they were just trying to drive home the whole like he only works in the garage and that's it. That's the extent of his knowledge.
Yeah. There's like a really good. The movie has explanations for everything that happens. They just don't do a good job of establishing it.
Right.
I think that's the real problem with the movie.
And during production, they interviewed Mark Hamill. And they asked him, they said, how are you approaching this character? How did you approach this character? And he said, I insisted on looking different. I don't know what he meant by that. Because he looked like a normal, auto mechanics car dude in high school. Mm-hmm. And he said that he wanted to get the point across in his look and in everything he did, that he's only interested in cars. Nothing could turn his head away from cars until Annie Potts comes along. And then you start to realize this isn't a car movie, really.
Yeah. I saw a thing where he was talking about how the movie was getting paid as like, a car movie or a beach movie.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, it's a love story. And he's like, he's absolutely right.
Yeah.
But he admitted like they should change the name of the title of the movie. It doesn't. It should have been called Bodywork. That should have been the name of the movie. Because she even says it in the movie where she like emphasizes it, like we both we're obsessed with bodywork and stuff. I'm like, there's the name of the movie.
Well, the original name for the movie was Stingray, but they ran into an issue with another movie of the same name that was already about to be released. I didn't look anything up about that movie, but apparently that's why they changed it. But also, the movie got a lot of, I don't know if backing is the right word, but when they came out with, Corvette Summer, and they were showing the trailers, there were a lot of places, a lot of organizations that jumped on it because of Corvette. The Corvette Museum jumped all over this movie. As a matter of fact, in the movie, when Mark Hamill is sitting in that classroom and he's got the clay mold that he's working on of the car when he's trying to perfect the hood scoop, that's in this museum. Apparently the museum, the Corvette Museum, if I can remember where they said it was, is it's on display at the American National Corvette Hall of Fame and Museum. Oh, Cooperstown, New York. I guess it's right by the Baseball Hall of Fame. But so that is in there, and they show Corvette Summer often They have regular screenings of Corvette Summer in the museum.
I've never heard of this at all.
No,
I mean, yeah, I've heard of Corvette Summer, but only to elevate Star Wars. People were like, yeah, he's been in a few other roles. He thought he was being typecast as a Luke Skywalker type character, but that just plain didn't work. It wasn't a good movie, and so therefore I wasn't chomping at the bit to go and watch it.
Right.
Yeah, and as cute as they are together, they don't really have any chemistry. They don't really connect. They're adorable together, but him and Annie Potts, there's just something, I don't know, it just didn't click. At least for me, I didn't feel like it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought they clicked to a certain point.
I feel like they would have been really good buddies.
Yeah.
It's like that whole that dialogue exchange at the end is so weird because I don't feel like they earned that at all. It's like this. It's like it was the ending to another movie that they were in together.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It kind of sounded. You know how like when anime's poorly translated. That's what some of the dialogue in this movie feels like to me. It's like it's English and I can understand what they're saying, but it doesn't really make any sense within the context of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yet the movie is so. I wasn't bored.
Yeah, no, I
not at all.
No.
And one thing I found out too, interesting little tidbit, is the scene where he finds the car, chases after the guys, and then he winds up at their headquarters, and they throw him in a little area to kind of keep him captive. There's a guy sitting outside guarding him, the guy that's always wielding chains.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
If you go back and watch, when he's sitting there, he's reading a comic book. And that comic book was Star Wars Episode 1, which then was released a couple months later. So that's the comic book he was... Yeah.
I got an early copy of it. Was it done on purpose? Or like?
Yes, it was done on purpose. It was done on purpose. And...
the director, he's friends with. I was looking up like what he did. He's done The Legend of Billie Jean. I really love that movie. That's a great movie.
That's a really good movie.
But he's like friends with Spielberg and Lucas, and like they kind of it has that vibe of like Coppola and Spielberg and Lucas, but it's not quite there. It almost fits in with like what is it? American Graffiti. Like it almost has
definitely.
Yeah, I think so too.
And did you notice the kid that gets the car stolen, Danny Bonaducci from the Partridge Family?
From
the Partridge Family, yeah. I think a lot of people did. Then you remember him when he winds up on the news for doing something dumb.
Yeah. It's
also
so weird.
Another strange thing that happened during the filming of the movie. There were a couple of those Corvettes, and one of them was actually stolen during production. So, interesting. Coincidence?
I saw like one of the main cars that they had gotten was they actually did find the frame at a junkyard, which I thought was funny because it's the whole instigating incident in the movie. Yeah, that they're looking for a car to fix up.
Yeah, that yard had no OSHA standards. They're crushing cars, and there's kids just running around. And, playing.
That's where there was like a sign of that. That's a good example. That scene where he has to pretend like, oh no, what do I do? Like, they're gonna crush it. There's just a giant red ass button, and all the other buttons are off to the side, and clearly that's the button as the emergency stop. But he has to be like, oh, what do I do? Yeah. Which button do I push? Like he's trying his best to make it funny. But I'm like, it's the big ass red button. It's the only button there.
Right.
Push it. It will stop.
They had another strange issue. After the production was over and they were done with everything and now it was off to editing and all that, they then were going to do the all the promo shots, pictures for the cover and all that. And both Annie Potts and Mark Hamill were both involved in serious car accidents in between production and whatever. And so in all the photos for the movie, she's got multiple pins in her legs, and he's got a broken nose. And I get they also said that the accident left permanent scarring on his face.
Yeah,
that you can,
yeah,
you can clearly see it in episode, in the next Parter Strikes Back and all that.
They wrote that in. That's why that Dustin, help me out. What's the snow beast called?
What do you mean? Oh, yeah.
Is it Wambas?
Yeah.
Yeah. When it slashes across his face and everything, they purposely wrote that in to explain why his face is different. Like, because they knew they had to explain why his, because it completely changed his face.
Yeah.
Like Mark Hamill's face before and after, it's like two separate people. Now you're just used to what Mark Hamill looks like.
Right.
Dick Miller. I always love when Dick Miller shows up in a movie. I'm glad he was in it, but he only had like a little small role. He's the guy that gave him the $2.
Oh, yeah.
Streak. But Dick Miller, man, he's great. I love him and everything.
It's funny because I had a buddy who told me that he always has $2 bills, and I'm like, why do you have $2 bills? And he said because like if you're at a strip club and you tip them with the $2 bill, you become known as the $2 bill guy, and that's what I became. And it's just like, and it sounds so eerily familiar when Corvette Summer had his little talking about the $2 bill story.
Man,
it's like, huh?
I don't even remember the last time I saw a $2 bill.
Last time, one and only time I ever dealt with $2 bills. 8th grade Washington trip. We were given $3 to go to McDonald's, and it was a $2 bill and a $1 bill. I'm like, wow, what the hell is this?
What's up?
I've seen $2 bills quite a few times because I am a stripper.
Yeah, but
really? Are you sure?
My whole problem.
I was right there. That was timing.
Yeah, my whole problem with stripping is, what do you do when they're tipping you change? No, just all the change in my G-string. Quarters, nickels, dimes.
Yeah,
you needed one of those sorting bins.
I think just a credit card swiper for your butt crack.
That'd be great. Finally, a use for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was looking up the guy who directed this. He's actually a pretty prolific writer. I think that's more of his strong suit because, like I said, he's friends with Spielberg, Lucas. He has writing credits on Mimic, Jaws, Close Encounters, Crimson Peak, and Pinocchio because he works with Guillermo del Toro a lot too. It's very weird, but I think as a director, maybe not as strongest. Although, again, Billie Jean, I do love Billie Jean.
Yeah, that is a good movie.
That's a really good movie. And the guy who wrote this wrote a lot of LucasArts games at the time. I saw that. He wrote a lot of Indiana Jones and Star Wars games.
Speaking of Indiana Jones, I just saw the new Indiana Jones today.
Oh, really? How was it?
I enjoyed it.
That's what I hear. I hear it's okay. I hear it's like, it doesn't suck, but it's not, it's okay to go out on.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah. I should have watched the previous ones to gear up because I knew I was going with my dad to the theater today. I just didn't because I've been busy every night. But now I want to go back and watch some of the other past films because it's like, okay, and here's the other thing. I thought it was for the movie, but this was my mistake. But it wasn't. I was sitting there waiting for Short Round to pop up the entire movie.
I think a lot of people were, and
I'm like, where is Short Round? Like, where is he? He's supposed to be in this? And then it's just like it clicked after the movie. I was just like, wait a minute. Okay, we got to the end of the movie. No end credits, nothing like that. And it's just like, okay, he met him to congratulate him on Indy, but he was there. he came out of whatever cranny he was in for everything all at once.
They were
right.
That's what it was. They were filming those movies back to back.
Yeah.
Like they were filming at the same time, so he just didn't have time to do it. And I guess
Yeah.
they didn't think about it. Because I think Indiana Jones, a lot of it was filmed during COVID. They were just holding out on it and going back and doing reshoots and stuff.
Yeah.
I think all you really need to do, Dustin, all you really need to do is watch Raiders of the Lost Ark and the Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
You don't need to watch the others.
Crusade's great. Crusade is the best one. I'm sorry, Kurt.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
It's a dad's a father and son movie. It has like the perfect ending, and it's great. And I love
I'll have to watch it again. I'll have to watch it again.
I know I shouldn't do that. If I was you, I would have told you to fuck you, because I shouldn't do that. I think everybody's got their favorite ending.
Yeah, no, I would have.
No, I will have to watch it again because I didn't. I remember seeing that and being kind of disinterested in it. Yeah. So.
I enjoyed Last Crusade and Temple of Doom. Those I really enjoyed those.
Temple of Doom was like my favorite as a kid.
Yeah, I remember watching those with my family a lot. We watched those every year. We watched all of them every year, but I specifically remember those two movies in general. But I haven't seen Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, or whatever that movie's called.
We went back and just did a whole run of them. We haven't seen the new one, but Crystal Skull is not as bad as it was when it first came out. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, like, everyone talks about the refrigerator scene and how it was blasphemy and all that, and it's like, okay, well, maybe, but this is fictional, and it makes chronological sense to me because the Nazis were always the bad guys until the Russians came up, and the Russian Cold War was all popular then at that time. So it makes sense, like, who's the new villain that he's going to end up fighting and going up against. And it's like, okay, well, this makes sense that he's competing
Kate
against.
Blanchett's awesome in that movie. She's a cool villain.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, that's cool. And I don't know. So it made sense to me, but I remember they tried to hand off the story to someone, like, who was it, Shia?
Yeah, that was the thing. Yeah, it's like they had him there, but then Shia LaBeouf, it was after that movie came out, he kind of like was talking about like it could have been done better. It wasn't really a good script, et cetera, et cetera. He was kind of just like harking what everybody else was saying, and I think he pissed off Spielberg.
Yeah.
I
just remember being weird by that, about all of that. So I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I thought it was really good all through. It was good.
Okay, can I present? There was one.
Yeah.
Couple pictures. Nope, my computer. No. Wait a minute. Sorry.
It's all good.
Share screen.
Yeah.
Window.
Yeah, yes. I just watched the new one. That's what I was just talking about. I enjoyed it.
Did you see any good trailers of upcoming movies?
Yes.
I just love this picture of Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's hilarious.
When he strolls out and he's like, I'm making money now and all this. He comes out and he's doing this, and then she's like, oh, I need a dress because I want to be an escort instead of a prostitute. And then this image of him. Like there should be a pile of cocaine in front of him here.
It really should.
You know, it's funny because it shows the age of the character he's playing. You know, I just came into a ton of money. Let's look cool.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, looking up, the amount of money he was making at that job equals out in 2020 to $184,000 a year. And his teacher makes the comment when he's trying to explain why he did what he did with the car. He's like, look, man, I make a measly salary of $15,000 a year. Sounds like nothing. But take that salary in 2020 That's about $65,000 a year.
Did anybody?
Not bad for a shop teacher.
No.
Yeah.
Did anybody? Was anybody actually? Did they see that twist coming? Because for me, that twist just kind of came out of nowhere. Like they didn't really establish it.
No,
Like,
I saw it coming.
Well,
And it kind of, I mean, but even then, they're like, oh, I was in some trouble. So did he sell the car or did the guy steal it? And how did the teacher make money on this whole deal? That's what I don't get.
Yeah, because it's implied that they do this all the time. So I'm like, does every year the shop car get stolen and nobody thinks about it? Because the first person that they're going to look at is the shop teacher.
Right.
Like, how do you keep getting these cars stolen? And you're like, oh, these kids, they take it out and who knows what happens. You know how it is.
Yeah.
And, and the police were really enforcing this movie. 5 minutes into talking to him, you'll never see it again. It's in pieces somewhere.
Yes,
Why bother?
I wrote
Why
down the
bother?
line because at first they're like, "Don't worry, kid, we'll find your car," and then it smash cuts into this line. Unfortunately, your car was a Corvette.
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay, so he has a one-off car. It's unique. It's instantly recognizable.
Yeah,
we'll never find it.
Yeah,
it was a Corvette. I thought the whole point of stealing cars was, you steal the inconspicuous ones and the parts and you strip them, but we'll never find that one-of-a-kind Corvette.
I got to tell you, though, when he sees that car and he's running after it, he is sure covering a ton of ground.
Yeah, he is like a weird run.
Yeah.
It's like he's getting like super speed, but his body does not move like it should be going that fast. I was just very distracted by it. Plus, at that point, like a lot of the points in this movie, he looks like the Lawnmower Man.
Yeah,
and it's especially at the beginning because he has the hat and the hair is just out. If he had looked like that the entire movie, I would have bought the whole, this says I'm a virgin thing. Please don't take this clip out of context. We could clip that.
Yeah. What final verdict, Dustin, on Corvette Summer? Again, if you notice, pretty much all the movies I throw up here are movies I tried to get you to watch when we worked together.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Good.
No, I would. It's good. I don't know if I'd ever watch it again, but I did not enjoy it.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's not going to be my first pick out of the gate, but it's something that I would probably sit down and watch again at some point in my life. I have a couple lists on IMDb that's like movies I haven't seen, like the must-watch list. And then I have a, Kurt tells me to watch this list. and then I have watch again someday. Like, because this was a good movie. I make a note, like, yeah, this was a good movie. I remember liking it. Let's mark that down let's watch it again soon. And then all the rest that it goes. But that's the main ones I have. Well, I haven't watched. What was the other ones that you were telling me to watch? I watched
Porky's.
Yes, I haven't watched Porky's.
You got to watch Porky's 1 and 2.
Porky's is burning into my brain.
Yeah.
No, he should watch the entire trilogy of Porky's.
Yeah, he should. He should. In a row.
Just not Porky's 4.
One after another. Yeah.
Or that Porky's remake or whatever the fuck that thing was.
And then you gotta.
Well, look. So Jessica says she has a Bo recommendation list.
She asked today, she was like, "What's your favorite movies?" I just took a screenshot of my letterbox. Like, here's all my favorite movies. Except I snipped out The Matrix because I know she doesn't like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's some Porky's, man.
Well,
that's
2 of the movies out of that list that I gave you, Dustin.
There was another one.
I have. There were a bunch. I think it was we were talking about what we considered the classic must-see 80s comedies.
Yeah.
You saw Airplane.
First one said Princess Bride, and you're just like, oh God, that's terrible. And I'm just like, then you tell me what's a good movie.
And I think I threw Airplane at you.
Airplane's classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was enjoyable.
going back to Harrison Ford, Raiders of the Lost Ark and Airplane. I saw both of those, double feature at a drive-in. So that was kind of cool. See Airplane and then Raiders of the Lost Ark. That was the big one to see.
Yeah.
But two of the movies off that list that I've given you, I have queued up trailers for today. And I like the idea of, throwing out two and letting you guys decide which one we're going to watch.
Hang on.
So,
I have a remark for this. Hang on.
He gets to use it.
I have to. Yeah.
Boo! Boo! Rubbish! Filth! Slime! Muck! Boo! Boo! Boo!
Well, then that means I've picked good movies, if that's the reaction I get.
Justin's sensitive about Princess Bride. Princess Bride, I think it's not like in my top favorites of all time, but you can't not argue that movie. That's like one of those perfect movies. There's nothing wrong with it.
It is.
It's like it's flawless.
So
I'll tell you what. I will in the near future. I will go watch it again, Dustin, and I'll be open to it. I might have seen it at a weird time in my life. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you remember when they tried to say, "Hey, we're going to remake The Princess Bride"? Everybody shut down the internet. Yeah. They were like, "We don't want that."
Yeah. No, don't do that.
We're fine.
But they did they had a whole bunch of celebrities make appearances where they did like a YouTube version. I think it was like during COVID. So it was just like people acting and doing stuff randomly. Like Jack Black does this scene and it's just, it's hilarious. But again, it's all based on the source material. Like that's
the thing. Cause it is based on a book and you can't argue, we're not making a remake of Princess Bride. We're doing another adaptation of the book, and that's where it gets fuzzy.
Yeah.
It's like you can't make any more Frankenstein movies or anything. Sorry, Kurt, we keep interrupting. What are the trailers?
It's all good, man. So I have two movies that were movies I liked a lot as a kid. Okay. Watched them several times. The first one, Dustin, we'll cue this up and enjoy.
Which one? This one?
Yep.
At last, the space comedy you didn't know you were waiting to see. The Ice Pirates. In the far distant future, in a galaxy where those in the know don't go, real estate is cheap, and they've got great sushi. But there's no water.
You got any water?
It is a time when desperate men will swing from the chandeliers just to get a drink.
Just take a look at that.
Good men like Jason, pilot and explorer of the cosmos, his chief engineer and fellow rogue Rocco. And the beautiful Princess Karina. One tiny band who must bust their buns, battling the masters of all the water in the galaxy. The evil Mithradoids, famous for not being nice.
Killing you would be too easy. I have something better in mind.
No, Mr. Bond.
The Ice Pirates.
Let's party.
See startling special effects. See depravity in zero gravity. See glamour girls from another galaxy. See kung fu robots. And delight in the mysteries of the seventh world. The one place in the universe to get a decent glass of water.
Don't do that.
Insist. How's it going? Oh, it's going great. How's it going with you?
The Ice Pirates. A totally spaced adventure.
This is so fucking rad, but also really fucking dumb.
I know. I spotted Ron. I spotted Ron Perlman too. I don't care what it is. I vote for this.
Yeah. I know. I saw Ron Perlman. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Ron Perlman. And then also later on, they had Darian Harewood in it. It's just like, oh my gosh, that's a dude from Viper.
I know
Ice
of
Pirates.
this movie. I'm
It's
aware
good.
of this movie. I've never seen it. That's going to be hard to beat. What's your other option?
Well, before you go there,
okay.
One reason to watch Ice Pirates, it has space herpes. I'll just leave it at that. Space herpes. Watch the movie. If we decide that's what to watch. This next one, not only did I like as a kid, my neighbor and I turned our bicycles as best as we could with cardboard into the vehicles in this movie.
Oh, Lord.
Dustin, it's all you.
All right. Here we go.
Fire.
Reverse left! Aircraft at 10 o'clock!
Megaforce.
You could tell everything about a soldier by looking at his chest.
Hologram. No, real. That long. That big around. Dang near.
Oh boy, Adam Perry's coming for his royalty.
But you're hopeless.
Man, I know this of this movie, and I've seen the ending of this movie. Has one of the best endings in a movie ever.
Oh yeah, Megaforce is fantastic.
But I've never seen.
I mean, if it wasn't for the real military vehicles in this movie, I think all of their money was spent on cardboard to make all of their own vehicles look the way they looked. But man, I wanted my bike to shoot missiles so bad. But yeah, so it's up to you guys. Pick a movie. One's more of a comedy, or one's more of an action. We've done some rom-com. We've done comedy. We've done action.
I feel like Ice Pirates is more aware of its goofiness, and it has Ron Perlman. So my vote's there. Although this one is really tough. Yeah. I'd be happy watching either one of these. So that's my vote. Dustin?
I agree. Ron Perlman does it for me. He's just
There you go.
Clip that too.
No, not like that, but he's hilarious.
And, it's funny too because the main star of this movie, Robert Ulrich, was pretty much a television star.
Yeah.
So, and this is again, this was a cult classic comedy. That I mean,
what was the name of the show he was on? The street detective show. I think it was like his big show. Oh, Robert Urich.
Oh,
I can't think of the name of the show. It was very popular though.
I know that it's a movie that or TV shows that my grandmother watched. That's how I know, the dramas from.
We have an internet. We are going to use it.
I refuse.
Yeah.
As you see
me moving to my keyboard.
Before I go off on click my list off, Corvette Summer. Did anybody think it was weird how Mark Hamill kissed his mom in that movie?
He kissed his mom?
Yeah, when he came home that first day. Like after the shop, and then she's like, "Hey, all that, where you give me a kiss and all this," and it was very Star Wars. That's 2 movies back to back where it was kind of incestuous kissing.
Huh?
I don't know. I guess nobody else noticed. I guess that's on me, and I just thought that was a weird long kiss in the mouth.
Robert Urich played Dan Tana on the series Vegas from 78 to 81.
Vegas. And
he was also on 2 seasons of The Love Boat, and he made many, many appearances on Charlie's Angels. But there was another one that I know he was on for a lot longer.
Like I remember just
I don't remember Vegas. I don't remember Vegas at all.
I just remember it coming on. I never watched it. It was just one of those, super syndication. Yeah. Spencer for Hire.
That's it.
What I'm
Spencer
thinking.
For Hire. Yes.
Sorry. People trying to enjoy our show while we old people try to remember old shows that nobody cares about.
Right.
Jeez.
But no, I enjoyed that Corvette Summer. Just a good casual movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if you're bored and you want to throw something on, and plus it's on, I think it's on like
YouTube.
Yeah, I think it like recently. I know it was like somebody threw up a copy, but for this month, they had their free with ad movies. Corvette Summer was up. It was like really good quality.
Yeah,
looked nice and clean. Because this movie's on Blu-ray.
I try to pick movies that are all on YouTube, so that if because you never know what streaming services everybody has. Yeah. And everybody can watch YouTube. So,
in theory.
Yeah, in theory.
Unless you're my kids, and we don't let them watch YouTube.
Good parenting.
But they shouldn't be watching the stuff they do watch. And anyway,
you just gotta know your
16 hours of anime. That's okay. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, they don't watch anime. Who was? I think it was. I think it was Zach who was saying, "Oh yeah, My Hero Academia is good to watch. I put it on with your kid and whatnot, and just chill and have a good time." And I'm like, okay, so I queued up the first episode, and I'm just like, "Oh my, no, you're not gonna watch this."
He forgot about the purple dude that's obsessed with anime boobs.
Yeah.
And then the giant lady, everybody's obsessed with her sexually.
Yeah,
he forgot about that probably. This show's gonna last. We're not gonna make it to 100 episodes between you two.
I didn't do anything.
You sicken me.
I didn't say that.
I'm always about the clean and wholesome. That's me.
Yeah. My mom said that she likes our show when we do shows, you and me, because she likes the language a lot better. So you're more respectful in that point of view.
Me?
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry,
like
Mom.
Dustin, you know, I don't. All kidding aside, Dustin and I used to have very long conversations about the fact that I really do believe, and I think Dustin does too, that our mothers met years ago before they ever had kids and decided how they were going to handle their children, because Dustin can start a story. When I was a kid, I was doing this and this and this, and this is what happened. I can finish it, but here's the consequence, and so can he. Because I'm telling you, our mothers are so identical.
They really are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's fun. It's fun. I'm 52 years old, and I haven't smoked in 7 years, but I smoked for about 30. Never once in front of my mother. you know, very rarely if I do swear, it's because it slipped. And on the rare occasion she does, I'm like blown away by it.
Yeah. What? Same here. Yeah. Every time she says something, I'm just like, what?
You're a real person too?
You're what?
What?
and I think she was commenting about the F-bombs that Bo drops. And,
I'm sorry.
And Zach. And they're like, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, we talk like a real person? Like, because that was one of my fears too. Like, I was like, all right, we're not going to do filters this season, and we're just going to go with it, because I know I do not want to sit there and edit shit and all that stuff. I was like, oh man. I sat down, I was telling my dad, I was just like, yeah, I'm just waiting for Mom to see it and tell me that I'm a terrible person or something, because I swore in this episode. And he's just like, yeah, but how old are you? And I'm just like, yeah, I know.
Doesn't matter. It's Mom. It doesn't matter.
You remember that time I got in trouble with your mom because I joked about you being a drug lord?
No.
It was like a Facebook comment, and she was like, "That's not funny," and all this. And I was like, "I was just joking." And then you came in, he's like, "Mom, I know him. He's just joking. He doesn't think I'm actually a drug lord."
Oh yeah, okay,
yeah.
This was probably early on in our friendship.
Just like, didn't get the joke.
Yeah, it went over her head.
Yeah, Dustin couldn't be a drug lord because people would have to work with him, and they'd go to meet him in a dark alley, and out would come this guy in a long leather jacket with that hat on, and they would just turn and run. So,
like Evil Walker.
Right.
Sith Lord Walker.
You're a cop.
And you're dead.
Just need the theme song to play over my shoulder. In the eyes of the ranger, the unsuspecting stranger.
Kurt, do a middle cover of that song, please.
I've been on vacation since the 26th or 27th, I want to say. And I've done absolutely nothing. My grandson, my two boys that lived with me are teenagers now, so they're doing a lot more stuff. And I'm going through a divorce. So I'm like having my vacation, sitting at home alone, watching as much television as I can. And thank God for streaming services and old shows, because there is nothing new that I'm seeing that I really care about watching, you know?
Yeah.
Except for I started watching the new Jack Ryan season.
Yeah.
I'm really liking that. You know, those progress along really well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I really like that. But I'm looking for a new show, but I'm really not seeing anything new that's really grabbing me, except for, I don't know if you guys have heard of The Other Two. It's I went over a buddy's house and his wife was watching it, and I wasn't paying too much attention at first, but every time I would catch anything, it was a funny remark, a funny situation, but like really funny. So I started looking into it, and it's a series about my damn dog, man, is attacking me again. Tell you what, you guys continue on for a second while I deal with this guy.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's watching Hannibal TV show, which
she's rewatching.
I'm still wanting to get to that. There was some circumstance where it's like I had my kids and we couldn't watch it when they were awake, and so we saved them all in the DVR, and then the DVR died, and it was just like, all right, well, now I'll have to wait until it shows up on a streaming service. And then it came out on a streaming service, and it's just like, oh yeah, I'll get to that. And then it's like, I still haven't got around to it.
That is a 3. I still don't understand how that was a CBS show. It's so graphic. But it's beautiful. It was NBC. The writing is. Was it NBC?
Yeah.
Either way, it doesn't matter. I don't even see how it was on network. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, it aired late at night, and it was on NBC. And I was sitting there watching it, and all like the bloody like gore and stuff like that. It wasn't like full on like nudity and stuff like that, but it was like, it was still pretty graphic, and I'm like, whoa, this is on a TV show.
But it's a really just the way they remixed. What is his name? Brian Fuller. Good writer.
Mads Mikkelsen?
No, the writer on the show. Yeah, Mads Mikkelsen's fucking
is amazing.
But, the guy who plays Will's great. It doesn't matter. The cast is good. Cinematography, music.
Yeah.
It's top notch show from beginning to end.
Yep.
And it doesn't feel like they can wrap it up especially that last episode. Like, how are you going to wrap up the entire show?
Right.
And like, cause it was I remember watching it the first go, and I'm like, this got like 15 more minutes. How was this the last episode? How are you going to do that? And then you watch it and you're like, oh, you guys are geniuses.
Yeah.
That was brilliant. That was perfect. You didn't linger.
Brian Fuller is the writer.
Good writer. Pushing Daisies, also a great show.
Yeah, I haven't another show I haven't watched. I'm currently watching Justified.
I gotta get on Justified because they're fixing to bring it back.
Yeah, the 18th. It comes back the 18th, so it's like Primeval City. It's like, yeah, I need to finish watching this.
How many seasons of
6
Justified are there? There's 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're on season 2 or 3, but yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and she says for that to be the series finale, it was so good. I haven't seen it yet. I do plan on watching it.
Yeah, she won't spoil it. It's too good to spoil. But yeah, I'm like, the only thing they didn't cover out of the book series was, Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to watch it, but then I'm like, maybe they should just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Just leave it. That show's so good. And it's not that I don't trust the people. It's just, I wouldn't want them to ruin it.
Yeah.
When it's so good.
Yeah.
Excellent you got show. Okay. Justified. I got to get on it. I know I'm aware it's a good show.
It's on Hulu. Oh wait, you got rid of Hulu.
I got rid of Hulu.
Yeah,
I'll figure it out.
The show that I was talking about, it's called The Other Two. It's on HBO or Max. I still hate that name. But,
yeah, everybody does.
Molly Shannon plays the mother, and she has 3 children. A son in his late 20s, daughter in her early 30s. Daughter is a former professional dancer, and the son is a wannabe actor. And out of nowhere, their 13-year-old brother becomes the next Justin Bieber. And it's a show about how they're trying to manage his career because the sister's acting as his manager, and the brother is just trying to glom on to everything to further his career. And it's a funny series. It's 2 seasons. I just found out they're not renewing it.
Okay.
For whatever that means. But a new comedy that was really funny off the bat. I mean, anytime there's Molly Shannon, I'm gonna at least check it out because she's so funny in everything that she plays.
Other 2. Okay, yeah. I'm looking it up on.
I'll check it.
Oh, there's 3 seasons.
Oh, there is 3. Okay, I know they're not renewing it. I just saw that. So, yeah, but it was they're quick episodes, and there's a good supporting cast in it.
Molly Shannon's good. She's like quietly become like a really good actress.
Yeah.
She's
she was kind of stuck. She was kind of stuck for a while where no matter what she did, she was the same person.
I figured she's getting typecast, man. It's probably rough.
Yeah, but she's
so memorable in Saturday Night Live.
Very animated, and when someone's animated like that, that's just what you get with them. And I don't know if you really type. And then they get typecast as if that's the first time. If you see an actor, you see Molly Shannon, and the first time you saw her, she was playing a crazy character. Boom, that's who she's associated with. But it's like, no, that was her personality before. If you go watch stuff she did before she was really big, she's always been the same.
Yeah, she's in an episode of Hannibal. It's a really good episode, and it's very dark, obviously, but she's not doing any of that goofy stuff. She's one of the main characters of that episode.
Yeah.
See, I don't think I've ever seen her in a non-comedy role. So.
She's good. I've seen her do a couple of dramatic things here, and she's really good.
Sometimes comics make the best
always the
dramatic. Look at Robin Williams. Whenever he played, he was downright scary when he played a bad guy. I mean, I even saw him on an episode of Law and Order, and he was just crazy.
Yeah. 1 hour photo.
1 hour photo.
Oh, fantastic!
Is insane.
Great movie. Love that movie.
It's so good.
Insomnia. He's really good in that.
Yeah, yeah.
I recommend Barry. Since we're on topic of comedians and being dramatic and stuff, Barry. It's all finished. It's all up, and it's on Max. Barry's a great show. You won't feel it because it's like 8 episodes a season, and they're like half an hour each. And
that's how I felt with Ted.
Everybody talks about Ted. I need to get on that too.
I literally feel like heartbroken that Ted is over. It's like, oh no, I need more Ted. It's like I'm jonesing to just put on a freaking soccer match to watch because I need that
character.
That character, and it's just like it's so weird. And I don't like soccer at all.
I always appreciate it when they know when to get out and stuff.
Yeah.
It's such a.
I mean, that show could have kept that. Definitely, they could have had more seasons and still maintained. But yeah, like you said, going out and getting out when you know to get out.
Yeah. Well, we have our assignments.
Yeah.
Ice Pirates.
Ice Pirates. Watch out for space herpes.
Ice Pirates.
Yes.
Watch out for space herpes.
It is on. I did watch it a while back. It was on Tubi. I couldn't find it when I looked for it today. But I did find it free with ads on YouTube.
Okay. All right, I will look for it. And while we're here, we got Jessica saying, I had Max, but for Downey's Dream Cars, after the last episode, I got rid of it. And she recommends Mayor of Kingstown, which is actually on
Paramount?
Paramount, thank you. And yes, Robin Williams is amazing.
We all agree on that one.
Yep.
Dustin, did you ever watch Mark and Mindy episodes?
No, but I might end up doing that because I'm into this is weird, but I'm into Alf. Like April started watching Alf. And it's just like this show's great, and now that's making me want to actually buy the Alf figure because
it's just nice, the NECA one that just
the NECA Alf figure, and then two, I'm wanting to go back and watch Dinosaurs, which I was never allowed to watch because it's now on Disney, and it's like, oh yeah, I could rewatch
NECA.
Those, and it's just
NECA
like
hit that one up too.
Yeah, exactly. They hit up the Dinosaurs too, so it's like, oh man. So I'm probably gonna go back and watch those too.
Yeah, Mark and Mindy is one you got to check out. I mean, so much of that show was him ad-libbing.
Yeah.
And they started going through a weird period where ratings were starting to fall, and they had a possible jump the shark moment, but it actually reversed, and it became the saving grace of the series. On the show, Mark being from another planet, things are different there. Him and his partner, she gets pregnant, but she gives birth to a fully adult Jonathan Winters. Because where Mark is from, you're born at 80 years old and you age in reverse.
Oh,
so I don't know if you're familiar with Jonathan Winters, but he is one of the funniest comics of back then. And to see this old man who is playing a baby an adult baby in all these episodes is so funny, man. So funny.
Oh, that sounds hilarious.
Yeah.
I was about this. I just saw the Jessica Dinosaurs ending made me cry. I don't want to say. Do you know the ending of Dinosaurs, Dustin?
No, I do not.
Okay, we're not going to say it, but man, it is going to blow your mind how they
Why
end
they
that
all
show.
die?
It's just really weird, man. It was a real. It's like logically it makes sense, but it is a weird way to go out on that show. It's a ballsy ending.
Oh boy, yeah. Well,
right.
so I'm wanting to watch those, but all in due time, I suppose.
Right.
Well, I should tell everybody if they. I know we're going to start it up on Patreon, but if you want to just start giving us suggestions for, I know we have our list, but if you think there's some weird, wacky movie that we should watch, leave it in the comments. We'll
leave in the comments. Eventually, I want to move to and get Patreon suggested content going on.
Yeah,
where we have to
where
watch
you actually pick it for us.
Yeah. And
fun.
I think it would be fun to do a group watch episode of with Patreons and stuff like that. I think that would be really fun. Not sure how to work that out logistically, but
Discord, you can share screen. It's great.
Yeah,
nice.
It's doable.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Ice Pirates. Watch it.
Ice Pirates. Oh, and join us Sunday. We got a guest. It's Alessandro Martinez. If you like horror novels and stuff,
absolutely
gonna have fun. And plus, he's been on like crazy adventures recently. He's got some great photos. And Monday, we're talking to Larry Kinney,
the voice of Lion-O.
And a ton of other stuff. Mind blowing, but he's Lion-O. So really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But until then,
Thunder Nerds ho!